I am seriously upset with the quality of service I have received and will be contacting your upper management in due course. Tom. P.S. Give my love to Dad. Happy Tuesday. Here's some news. A SmackDown star has officially been drafted to WWE Raw. A WWE star has returned from injury. And we have an update on WWE's TV plans going forward. We'll talk about that in a little while. Raw after Mania has been and gone, and we had ourselves a surprise return to Monday nights in the form of former SmackDown guy Apollo Cruz. So Cruz turned up to face Aleister Black, and Tom Phillips gave us the 411 on this, and he said that apparently Apollo Cruz has joined Raw because a draft was about to expire. So that really sells us on Apollo Cruz, doesn't it? I said this on Graded, but it's true. It's like having a voucher for a music store, and you go, oh, I've got a day left on this voucher. Oh, just get an iPhone charger, just get something with it. It really sells him. What did sell him properly, though, was the match that he ended up having with Aleister Black. Apollo Crews and Aleister Black went nearly half an hour on Monday Night Raw, and we talk about that in length on Raw Graded, which is on the YouTube channel right now. But it was a scintillating return for Apollo Crews, a guy who's really struggled to get the motor running ever since he joined the main roster of WWE. He was very much a well-spoke of independent star when he joined NXT, and he did some great things as part of NXT. But as soon as he got moved up to WWE Raw, he unfortunately kind of encountered that weird bit of call-up seasickness that a lot of NXT guys seem to get, where they just get lost in the shuffle and forgotten about, and nothing really happens with them. And Apollo Crews became a victim of that, which really, really sucked. He moved over to SmackDown. He was teaming with Shorty G for a little bit, but again, with the exception of getting battered by Sheamus, didn't do anything massively spectacular. So already, he's been back on Raw for like, what, less than 24 hours? And he's already really made an impact on Raw with his match with Aleister Black. My hope is that they keep the momentum going with Apollo Crews, because he's such a talented performer. And I would hate to see this just be one of those moments where they're given time one week and then nothing comes of it the next. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. In terms of whether there'll be any more draft picks back one way or t'other, I don't know. There isn't anywhere on WWE.com that shows almost expired draft picks. I mean, you can look on your Deliveroo app and see vouchers that are about to expire, but I can't see anywhere on WWE.com where drafts are about to expire. So I don't know. We may have some more moving and shaking. They may do it as well, depending on who's available right now for both rosters, because as we know, there's quite a few limitations on WWE programming right now. So we may see some more moving around this week. We don't know, but we do know Apollo Crews made a hefty impact on Monday Night Raw when he returned last night. Also returning last night was Nia Jax. This is the first time that we've seen her in action in a year. She suffered injuries that just built up and built up and built up to the point where she took time out around about this time last year to go and have both ACLs repaired. And that's a long time on the shelf to get all that sorted. But Nia Jax returned on Monday Night Raw back in form, and she has a new finisher as well. She's basically now doing Paige's old Rampage finisher, which is like the what's the best way to describe it? It's got a name on the wrestling games. I believe it's a small package DDT. I think it might be a package DDT. So she gets them in the bear hug, hooks their head and drops them down. Paige put out a tweet saying that she has given the blessing to Nia Jax to use this finishing move, and it's a move that actually really suits Nia Jax. Because it shows her power by having her lift up her opponent and then drop them on their head. It kind of works for her. She had a match on Raw last night that was a short, sharp, cheerful match with Deonna Purrazzo, and now she's back. That was her sort of warm-up match back. Where she'll fit into the plans going forward for Raw, we will see. We know that she's quite a polarizing figure to fans. That's probably putting it quite lightly. There are some people that give Nia Jax a lot of time, and there's some people out there who genuinely want nothing to do with her and never want her on television again. So we'll see what this new return, this new charge from Nia Jax brings over the next couple of weeks. Claymore! 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 Not my words, the words of somebody wishing to purchase more plasticine. And the words of Drew McIntyre as he hits his prize finisher on Brock Lesnar and secured his first ever WWE Championship at WrestleMania. It was an exciting time last Sunday night to be a wrestling fan, especially one in Blighty, watching one of our own do it. Come on, McIntyre, Mondrew, and all that. Drew McIntyre was chatting to the BBC about some plans going forward that he'd like to have and answering a potential challenge. We'll get to the challenge in just a bit, but he spoke to the BBC and they talked about possibly WWE doing shows in the UK. Of course, we have NXT UK, we have our very own brand, but we're talking about getting the main roster, the full fat roster, to come and do something big in the UK. He was asked about plans going forward, and Drew McIntyre has said, I want to get an open top bus and drive from the top of Scotland to the bottom of England and just promote WWE like crazy. The UK hasn't hosted one of WWE's main pay-per-views in nearly 30 years. Drew McIntyre has said he absolutely wants to change that. He said, I'm going to make it happen. I made this happen, becoming the first ever British champion. So I will make the pay-per-view happen too. So Drew is pushing for us to get ourselves a new SummerSlam at Wembley type deal. Be good with that, be good with that. But who would Drew McIntyre face in the main event of such a pay-per-view? Well, we get the answer in this interview as well. Drew McIntyre talked a little bit about Tyson Fury. So we mentioned in the news just the other day that Tyson Fury was set to be a part of WrestleMania, but due to the flight ban, it never ended up transpiring. But Drew McIntyre has said that with regards to Tyson Fury challenging him, which he did in several interviews, Tyson Fury has challenged me, says Drew McIntyre, so that would be interesting. But when everything starts resuming back to normal and I get the chance to come back to the UK, I want to bring this title back. But he's dropped in the idea that he might potentially end up having a match with Tyson Fury in the UK. That's what I'm reading into this. He says the match is interesting, Fury versus Drew in a UK pay-per-view. Why didn't we make that happen? I'm a poet and I didn't realise. So WWE were never going to set any attendance records for this WrestleMania just gone, but they did set another record according to Nielsen Social. WrestleMania saw 13.8 million total social network interactions. It is up 57% on last year's WrestleMania, and it therefore becomes the most talked about online WWE event of all time. I've got two words for you: boneyard match. That's the reason right there. That's a great accolade that WWE were keen to boast about on Monday Night Raw, and they will do so throughout this week. And that's kind of why I loved WrestleMania this year. And I've spoke to a few people through Twitter about this as well. And I love the idea that for just a weekend, we weren't stressing about other things going on in the world. Like, we were talking about something else. We were talking about wrestling. And we were arguing about wrestling and disagreeing about wrestling and loving wrestling. And that was really nice. It was good to look at the trending things on my timeline and not see stuff about the pandemic, but just see Undertaker, boneyard match, Druids, all this stuff. Druids wasn't trending, I've just made that up. But you get the idea. So congratulations, WWE, on setting a social media attendance record that Hulk Hogan can inflate in a couple of years' time. And finalement for a Tuesday-amo, what is WWE planning television-wise going forward? I feel like we end most of our news stories talking about this, you and I. And it's looking as if things might get back to whatever semblance of normal we currently have. Last time we spoke about this proper, we knew there was an undisclosed location where WWE would be filming SmackDown this week, and that was kind of where we left things. The idea that, like, after this, WWE may go into lockdown was very much a possibility. We do have an update on what the crack is with that now, and what we learned is that WWE will be doing, by the looks of it, SmackDown and Monday Night Raw both live from either an undisclosed location or back in the Performance Center. So it looks as if even next week WWE could be back recording stuff at the PC. Of course, we were told they couldn't do that right now because Florida is in lockdown. But there is some confusion about lockdown, very similar to the confusion that there is here in the UK about what is classed as essential business. And WWE could claim, as an entertainment company providing entertainment for the people who want entertainment, they could be classed as an essential business. So WWE could swing the lead a little bit with that, with regards to getting back into the Performance Center. So it's looking very likely that WWE could be back doing not just taped episodes of Raw, but also live episodes of Raw, NXT and SmackDown from the PC on a weekly basis, which would certainly alleviate a lot of their problems. But this is a moving beast that we are dealing with, and as always, we'll keep an eye on it and we'll let you know more when we know more. You can get the latest of what is happening both on our Twitter at Cultaholic and online at cultaholic.com as well. Everything is there for you. Check out Raw graded and WTF moments from Raw on our Cultaholic YouTube channel as well, and stand by for reactions to WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. Like, I'm excited to watch all the other lads reacting to the Boneyard match. I loved it. I know a few of the others loved it. I know Sam Driver hated it. So bring the noise. I want to see Sam crying on the video. That would make me smile, because Schadenfreude are in it. Have yourself a great Tuesday. Stay safe. Love you, bye.